Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, addresses a message to the Algerian people on the occasion of the December 11, 1960 protests, in which he highlighted the symbolism of this day, a defining milestone in our national struggle. The President of the Republic receives the President of Al-Fajr al-Jadid party, Tahar bin Beibash. Algeria and Greece are continuing to strengthen their relations with increased economic partnerships, clearly evident during Minister Attaf's visits to Athens. Algerian-German forum brings investors together to advance sustainable partnership. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, addressed a message to the Algerian people on the occasion of the 65th anniversary of the December 11, 1960 protests, and I quote, "Today is one of the most crucial days of our national struggle and armed resistance. We proudly commemorate the 65th anniversary of the December 11, 1960 protests, a historical moment during which the Algerian people reaffirmed in the streets its total acceptance of the call of the November 1st, 1954 statement and its faith in completely achieving the goals of the revolution. The crowds, the chanting voices, the raised banners and the expressive ululations during those protests were, in those historic moments, a celebration expressing the deep bond with the men and women who, since the dawn of November 1st, faced the horrors of the liberation war and sacrificed their life in the cities and villages so that Algeria might live. Those moments in the revolution's journey were a testament to the saying of the iconic martyr Al-Arabi bin Mahdi, through the revolution to the streets and the people will embrace it. A turning point and the external echo of a revolution that stopped time as a witness to that revolutionary uprising with its principles and noble goals. We honor the legacy of Didosh Murad, who said, "If we are martyred, protect our memory." We are proud of the authenticity of our glorious revolutionary heritage, a national unifying point. This legacy allows the Algerian people in the regional and international context to discern the threats of directed wars of interests, a legacy from which emerges a national consciousness that understands the secrets of paid propaganda of all kinds and the intentions of those seeking to harm the country and its interests. A people as ancient as history, united by the Algerian identity, rooted in the land, embracing diversity, unified in a belief, a people who joined forces in the national front during the years of a bloody tragedy, and is most keen today to lead the present march, vigilant against attempts to disrupt the disrupts of its national project, heading towards the future of generations that aspire to live in a country that listens to their hopes, an Algeria that protects the ambitions of its daughters and sons to achieve a sustainable development inside the country and reaffirm its active role abroad. I believe that this commemoration is an occasion to review the lessons gained from the stages of building an independent nation, with its victories and the difficulties faced in specific periods. This should serve as a starting point and motivation to consolidate the economic and social factors achieved by the Algerian people, since it granted us its trust to improve the performance of integration and the dynamics of nations legitimately aspiring for a first category position. There is no doubt that we will reach our goals very soon, faithful to the message of the martyrs, as we pray for their souls, and we salute the Mujahideen and Mujahidat. Long live Algeria, and glory to our martyrs. On December 11, 1960, Algerians took to the streets chanting "Algeria is independent" in a powerful push that paved the way for international recognition and full independence. More details with Mehdi Sadila Balaman.
Algeria is Muslim, Algeria is independent. These were the words Algerians raised on December 11, 1960, breaking through with the bright undeniable truth, the illusions of de Gaulle, his generals, and the most stubborn European settlers. Algerians rose like a storm, driving the second-to-last nail into the coffin of French colonial rule, with nothing in their hands but the Algerian flag and peaceful slogans declaring Algeria is Algerian. Firmly rejecting de Gaulle's sly maneuver, settlers responded with calls for French Algeria, but Algerians would accept nothing short of full independence. From Belcourt and Algiers, the spark of the uprising spread to Annaba, Oran, Constantine, and other cities, marking a striking political victory. 9 days later, the UN General Assembly, in its 15th session, recognized the Algerian people's right to self-determination and independence. That acknowledgement forced General de Gaulle to come to the negotiating table, leading ultimately to the restoration of national sovereignty. It was the final nail in the coffin of the colonial project in Algeria. And with it, Algerians buried the long years of suffering, etched with tears and anguish.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the President of the party, Al-Fajr al-Jadid, Tahar Ben Beibash, as part of the meetings with the heads of political parties. The meeting was held with the presence of the advisor of the President of the Republic in charge of political affairs and relations with youth, civil society and political parties, Mustafa Said. We'll listen to the statement.
لقاء اليوم مع السيد رئيس الجمهورية في إطار
Today's meeting with the President of the Republic took place as part of the constructive exchange and dialogue he has initiated with political parties. Discussions focused on the law governing political parties as well as the electoral law in view of the upcoming elections. The points of view are largely aligned regarding the current state of political activity in the country, as well as the shared vision for the future of political parties and the electoral process. In addition, the President of the Republic, whom we thank, raised several issues of national interest and highlighted the challenges linked to the ambitious programs he is currently implementing on the ground. The exchanges were conducted in a climate of mutual understanding. He also emphasized the need for each party to fully assume its responsibilities on the national stage. For my part, I found this meeting reassuring on the economic, social and political levels. It is now up to us to prepare effectively for next year's elections.
قريب يعني مننا الآن ما بقي إلا التحضير لهذه الانتخابات القادمة للسنة القادمة إن شاء الله.
The State Minister for Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and of African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, was received by the Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis at the beginning of his official visit to Greece. Ahmed Attaf extended the salutations of the President of the Republic. The audience was the occasion for the two parties to reaffirm the mutual will to reinforce the friendship and partnership relations between the two countries and their devotion to develop the bilateral cooperation in vital sectors. We'll listen.
As I said, I'm really privileged and honored to have this opportunity of meeting you. First of all, I will start to convey to you the salutations and warmest greetings of the President Abdelmajid Tebboune and the Prime Minister, Mr. Sifi Ghraib. When he instructed me to come to Greece with the objective of reviving our bilateral relations, the President entrusted me with three messages to you. The first one relates to his commitment to working with you with a view to reviving our bilateral relations, giving them more substance and a new momentum. And the second message is to tell you that we are really pleased of the quality of the work that we have been doing together in the United Nations recently. There is absolutely an outstanding cooperation between our two foreign ministries and two missions in New York, and we have really enjoyed working with you because we look at the international and regional issues with the same lenses. And we are what we can call like-minded countries. So it is not a surprise, but the President really wanted to convey this message to you, how pleased he is of the quality of this cooperation. And the third message relates to the Mediterranean, where it was a traditional area of very close cooperation between our two countries. And he wants, again, to see Algeria and Greece more involved in the new developments in our region, the Mediterranean region, in terms of partnership, new neighborhood policies that are being carried out within the European Union. He wants really closer contacts, closer coordination, closer consultations with friendly Greece on this matter. So those are the three messages that I was interested to convey to you, and I am really pleased to have this opportunity of doing so.
Welcome you to Greece. You know, our countries enjoy a very long-standing friendship and I think a common vision for peace in our broader region. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts about many regional developments, and of course I would like in particular to highlight the strong cooperation we have when it comes to energy. We've been one of our sort of most reliable suppliers when it comes to liquefied natural gas, and Greece is playing an increasingly important role as an entry point for LNG for the entire Eastern Mediterranean and, of course, for our northern neighbors. So there's a lot to discuss, and it's a real pleasure to be able to welcome you here today.
The state minister also had talks with his Greek counterpart, George Gerapetritis. On this occasion, the two ministers held historical relations between the two countries and their cooperation, notably in the energy sector, as Algeria reaffirms its role of reliable partner for Greece and Europe. They announced the expand of their cooperation to new sectors such as naval industries, health and startups, and decided to hold soon the third session of the Joint Commission. The two ministers expressed satisfaction regarding the achievements of the United Nations Security Council and the necessity to join their efforts to face the challenges in the Mediterranean region. It was also the occasion to exchange points of view on the Palestinian and Sahrawi issues, as well as the situation in Libya. Let's take a listen.
سجلنا بارتياح كبير مستوى التعاون المتميز.
We have recorded with great satisfaction the outstanding level of cooperation in the field of energy. On my behalf and in the name of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Algeria's commitment was reaffirmed to remain a reliable and stable partner for Greece and for the European continent as a whole in this vital energy sector. We also noted with further satisfaction that our bilateral cooperation is beginning to expand gradually to include new areas such as marine industry, health, as well as the innovation ecosystem and emerging partnerships.
ليشمل مجالات جديدة على غرار الصناعات البحرية والصحة وكذا منظومة الابتكار والشراكات الناشئة.
As part of the preparations for the 23rd session of the Algerian-Tunisian Joint Major Cooperation Commission, scheduled to take place in Tunis, with the participation of several sectors, the preparatory meeting at the experts level began. This session marks a strategic step towards strengthening economic and trade cooperation between the two countries, as experts review key files aimed at enhancing partnerships. A new chapter in German-Algerian economic ties opened in Algiers today, as leaders from both countries gathered for a summit designed to unlock fresh investment, boost technology transfer, and push cooperation into a more strategic phase. Basma Far with more details.
The German-Algerian Investment Summit brings together government officials, business leaders, and investors for 2 days of debates and panels focused on strengthening bilateral economic cooperation.
And Algeria has resources, they have many people, and we are at the beginning of a stronger partnership, and this is all about trust. And from Germany's perspective, we have to diversify our sources for critical minerals, for instance, in order to bring forward what we call the energy transition. what we both should do is the digitalization of the industries.
The Algerian market is one of the largest on the African continent, so for Germany I think it's very important. Certainly it's the people you have here, the qualifications, the skill also. I think it's a hub for the rest of Africa. And it's certainly also the proximity to Europe. We are only 2 or 3 hours away. It's not very far. The infrastructure you have here is very good. The base here is really important to improve and deepen cooperation between Germany and Algeria. Today we have 4 concrete projects, a project around automotive maintenance with Rage Heart, a project in the field of chemistry and construction materials with Vice, and an Algerian partner with ECBF, another with KSB in valves and pumps. KSB has been here for more than 20 years and the company is committed to starting to produce 2 or 3 items with a high integration rate. There's also a relationship and a new partnership between Siemens and the Algerian cluster.
In order to develop lasting partnerships, support investment projects, and encourage the transfer of technology, B2B meetings brought together dozens of operators from both countries. From renewable energy to green hydrogen and through mechanical industries, the targeted sectors are numerous. Several agreements were signed, including the entry to 3 German companies into the Algerian market.
Aujourd'hui, nous allons signer des conventions avec...
Today we are going to sign a convention with 2 major Algerian universities. Why are these conventions important? Because we have acknowledged that youth will play a very important role in the future of this country. So the investment in the capacities of this youth is very important.
I think that we have great opportunities here. It's just we are not coming here for just one business. We would like to develop, and also what we heard today and yesterday, I think there are great opportunities for us to increase business, to support the national industry with our knowledge, and as I said, to have a higher integration rate of value here in Algeria.
For Algeria, the objective is clear: attract new investment and benefit from German know-how. On the other hand, Germany aims to consolidate its presence in a country that has become a Europe-Mediterranean hub.
The Minister of Justice and Seas Keeper, Lotfi Boujma'a, received on Wednesday the President of the Supreme Court, President of the Higher Council, President of the Supreme Judicial Council of the State of Kuwait, the advisor Adel Majid Boursley, and his accompanying delegation. The meeting was an opportunity to review fields of judicial cooperation between the 2 countries and means to exchange expertise. The 5th Military Region inaugurated the 18th Medical Surgical Day and 6th Paramedical Day in Constantine, gathering military and civil health professionals for 2 days of scientific exchange and training. Melissa Dira Balaman.
As part of the rollout of the Military Health Services Scientific and Technical Program, the Deputy Commander of the 5th Military Region chaired the opening ceremony of the 18th Medical Surgical Day and the 6th Paramedical Day, held at the Army's Regional Circle in Constantine. The event brought together civilian authorities, officers, and senior staff from the region's military health units, along with doctors and specialists representing a range of military and civilian hospitals.
VIH, par rapport à l'hépatite C, mais aussi donc
This 2-day scientific gathering will feature a series of workshops and lectures focused on continuous training for military health personnel, particularly in neuroscience, cognitive sciences, and the management of polytrauma. It will also provide the forum for sharing experience and strengthening scientific collaboration between national experts from both the military and civilian sectors, while deepening theoretical and practical knowledge in surgery and in the early detection of chronic diseases.
To the weekly report of the PNA, as part of fighting terrorism, PNA detachments arrested 10 elements backing terrorist groups in different operations throughout the national territory. As part of the fight against organized crime and in continuity of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted in coordination with the different security services and operations across the military regions 59 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to introduce 26.15 quintals of processed kiff through the borders with Morocco, while 19 kilograms of cocaine and 455,658 psychotropic tablets were seized. In Tamrazat, Borj Badi Mukhtar, in Salah and in Gazam, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 276 individuals and seized 28 vehicles, 299 generators, 221 jackhammers, 3 metal detectors, as well as quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, explosive detonations, tools and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 15 other individuals were arrested and 1 Kalashnikov, 5 hunting rifles, 6,570 liters of fuel, as well as 7.5 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation were seized. Similarly, border guards thwarted at the level of our national coast attempts at illegal immigration and saved 392 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 351 illegal migrants of different nationalities were arrested across national territory. Sahrawi activists take to the streets of Brussels, demanding their rights and control over Western Sahara's resources. Basma Far with the details.
In Brussels, inside the European Parliament, parliamentarians, politicians and human rights activists met in a conference organized by the Sahrawi Friends Group in cooperation with UCOCO, titled The Impact of the EU-Moroccan Trade Agreement on the Future of the UN-led Peace Process in Western Sahara. The conference featured various interventions, but the consensus was clear: any trade agreement, including Western Sahara's resources, without the consent of its people is incompatible with international law.
The Sahrawi people deserve respect, especially after the European Court of Justice ruling. This is a critical political moment. We cannot accept Morocco's blackmail. Let us tell the European Union, the European negotiators and the world that the Sahrawi people exist and that their natural resources belong solely to them.
Near the parliament, Sahrawi flags waved along the street as chants filled the air. Hundreds of protesters demanded a stop to the exploitation of Western Sahara's resources and the recognition of the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination.
These people's rights are violated today, not just human rights, by international and humanitarian law. The Sahrawi people face violations of all these rights. We came to voice our concerns about the French and European positions on the issue of colonialism in Western Sahara. I believe it is crucial to defend the rights of this region, especially at this sensitive time following the UN Security Council's decision.
Sahrawi activists made it clear they will not back down and will remain firm in their fight for their rights and their land and control over Western Sahara's resources.
And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.